Kamusta mga ka-IT? This is Billy Ramirez again, the guy behind from Tech Academy, and on this video, ang pag-uusapan naman natin or ang tatalakayin naman natin is all about unmanaged versus managed infrastructure or managed versus unmanaged IT infrastructure. So kung ikaw isang nagsisimula pa lang sa iyong IT career, let's say for example, isa kang beginner or fresh graduate, or sabihin na natin na you're already working as a general IT or IT support na wala pang idea kung ano yung tinatawag nating manage and nandiyan ka lang sa isang maliit na office or maliit na company and gusto mong magkaroon ng idea or at least knowledge kung ano yung mga pwede mong kaharapin, ano yung mga opportunity when you go outside doon sa tinatawag natin talagang managed infrastructure. Kasi nung nagsisimula pa lang ako, wala rin akong idea and naisip ko gawin tong video na to para matulungan kayo. Okay? So kung ready ka na, ready na rin ako, tara simulan na natin. By the way, before we move on, dun sa mga bago pa lang sa ating channel, so again, my name is Billy Ramirez, the guy behind techacademy.ph. So, right now, I'm full-time at Tech Academy where I help aspiring Filipino IT professionals like you build a solid foundation in your IT career. So, kagaya mo, nagsimula lang din ako as a beginner pero as of this moment, more than 15 years na yung experience natin sa IT. Pero nagsimula tayo bilang isang general IT support sa isang maliit na office sa Makati. And then from there, nag-resign ako kasi nakita ko wala akong future doon, wala akong natutunan bago. Natanggap ako sa isang call center sa Sykes. Ngayon, found ever na yata siya. So, as a technical support. And then, after a year, na-hire ako as senior tech support. Pero nung nakilala ko si Cisco, si CCNA, nag-training ako, nag-aral ako, and then nung nakapasa ako, nag-resign uli ako, and na-hire naman ako as service desk sa Teletech. Okay? As a service desk, doon ko nagamit yung mga knowledge and natututunan ko sa network. And then, eventually, nakalipat ako sa networking team as network associate, network administrator, and network engineer. Okay? Pero sabi ko nga, itong video na ito, hindi naman about sa akin. Para lang itong information na ito dun sa mga bago and new subscriber or follower nitong Tech Academy. Okay? So, right now, what I do is I help aspiring IT professionals like you build solid foundations in their career. So, we conduct these video tutorials and career tips. We conduct free webinars. And then, may mga free mini courses and lessons din tayo. Plus, we also have premium courses. Okay? So, ito yung ilan sa mga pictures ng alumni natin dahil from time to time, nagkakaroon tayo ng meetup. Okay? So, right now, we have more than 1,600 doon sa ating mga members or students. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about yung topic natin for today, managed versus unmanaged infrastructure. Okay? Let's first differentiate, okay, kung ano yung pinagkaiba ng tinatawag nating managed devices versus unmanaged devices. Kasi we know na yung infrastructure is basically composed of devices and yung mga iba pang technology natin, di ba? Pero when we say infrastructure, mostly ito yung design and technology including the devices. So, kapag sinabi natin na managed or unmanaged devices, like what you can see on your screen right now, it's basically one that is being provided by yung tinatawag natin yung mga ISP natin. Okay, so most of the time, libre lang yan na pinoprovide ng mga ISP sa mga residential o sa mga bahay natin. So right now, you can see your router from PLDT, Globe, or Converge. Those are free. So, hindi lang sa residential. Most of the time, sa mga tinatawag nating SOHO or small office, home office, ganyan lang din naman ang ginagamit. So, yung example natin dyan, prepaid yata ni PLDT yan, but that doesn't limit to the router or to that kind of device. So, ang point dito is, yung mga ginagamit sa residentials, like mga libreng router ni PLDT or Globe or Converge, at saka yung mga Tapo, TP-Link, mga D-Link, and so on, those falls under unmanaged devices. So, dito nga, pag-uusapan natin yung differences and characteristics ng mga yun. And isa is basically, kung ano yung ginagamit nyo sa bahay nyo, 99% of the time, those falls under unmanaged devices. Does that make sense? Okay? So, another characteristics, it's mostly plug and play. Ibig sabihin, kapag naayos na ng technician, yung internet connection nyo, nakapirma ka na ng kontrata, nakapag-down ka, mostly kapag naisaksak nila yan at naibigay sa'yo yung password, so sir, baguhin mo yung password mo para nasa likod ng router yung information and so on. So, it's already working. Meaning, meron ka ng internet and yung mga devices sa bahay nyo, pwede nang makakonect sa internet. Yung TV nyo, yung mga cellphones nyo, yung laptop nyo, and desktops nyo, and so on, they are all connected na sa internet dahil nga yung router, for example, is plug and play. So, yun yung isa sa characteristics, yun yung isa sa mga tawag dito, differences ng mga unmanaged versus managed devices. Plug and play. So, isasaksak mo lang. Actually, pag nagka-problema, papalitan ni PLDT, ganun lang din eh. I-connect mo lang yung fiber cable, tapos yung power, and most of the time, gagana na talaga yan. So, plug and play, ibig sabihin. Does it make sense? So, that's one characteristics. The next one is, of course, it's managed by what we call GUI or Graphical User Interface. Diba? So, for example, tumawag ka kay PLDT. PLDT, gusto kong palitan yung Wi-Fi password o gusto kong palitan yung set ng IP. So, ano ka ni PLDT technical support. Sir, open ka ng browser, type mo yung 192.168.1.1 and then i-click mo sa ganito, i-click mo sa ganyan. And so, you're doing the configuration, di ba, via what we call graphical user interface. Meaning, madali siyang i-configure, madali siyang i-navigate dahil you're just like browsing Facebook or just browsing a website. Click and type ka lang din naman doon eh. Di ba? Nandun na yung mga input boxes, tapos nandito na yung mga babaguhin mo, and so on and so forth. So, madali lang siyang i-navigate, madali lang siyang i-configure. Does that make sense? So, isa pa yan sa mga pinaka differentiation or differentiator ng tinatawag nating unmanaged devices. Most of the time, they are being configured via what we call graphical user interface. Okay? Now, yung mga managed devices, although may mga pagkakataon ginagamitan din natin sila ng graphical user interface like a wizard or a manager for example, pero most of the time they are being configured hindi sa GUI. So mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan, pero you getting the point, 'di ba? So most of the time lahat ng unmanaged devices, lahat ng mga residential or mga small office, home office devices are managed via what we call graphical user interface. Okay? And then, of course, dahil nga sila ay designed for residential, dahil nga sila ay designed for what we call small office, home office, limited lang yung mga features na pwede mong magamit or meron sa kanila. For example, yung router mo sa bahay, hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-configure ng voice over IP. Hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-configure ng ACL. Although may mga pagkakataon, mayroong mga router na pwede, pero limited pa lang din yung features. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-configure ng NAT. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-configure ng VLAN, and so on and so. You get the point? So, yung features na nakukuha mo is basically limited. So, kung ikaw ay isang malaking company, okay, tapos ito yung gagamitin mo, hindi uubra dahil yung needs, yung goals ng company mo is hindi pasok sa tinatawag nating unmanaged device. So, itong mga residential, itong mga tinatawag nating SOHO equipments or yun nga, yung mga unmanaged devices, they are limited in features dahil yun lang naman talaga yung kailangan dun sa mga businesses, dun sa mga bahay, or dun sa mga organizations na gumagamit sa kanila. Kuha? Now, dito papasok yung tinatawag natin na managed devices. So, pag sinabi natin na managed devices, take note ha, yung example natin dito is basically a router. Pero this falls or this concept applies to switches, access points, even servers, and so on na tinatawag nating managed devices. So, yung example natin dito, router lang para madaling makuha yung punto. Does that make sense? Okay, so right now you can see a Cisco router here. Okay, and basically this is one of the best example ng tinatawag nating managed devices. So ito naman yung mga characteristics, ito naman yung mga differences kapag sinasabi or kapag tinawag natin na managed devices. Una, it's being used by enterprises or large organizations. So kung dito, basically, si unmanaged is being used by what we call residential sa mga bahay natin or mga small offices or home offices or SOHO. Si managed devices, kadalasan, it's being used by large enterprises or organizations. Yung mga tipong may 500 employees or thousands of employees and multiple branches around the countries or multiple branches around the world. So yung mga tipong BPO, international company, Fortune 500, Fortune 100 company. So ibig sabihin, yung malalaking organizations, yung malalaking company. Bakit? Dahil yun yung kailangan nila. Yung mga features na hinahanap nila dun sa unmanaged, wala doon. So that's why they're using what we call managed devices. Does that make sense? So, if you're working in a small company right now, Sir Billy, bakit gano'n? Walang Cisco sa company namin. Probably, your company falls under here, sa SOHO natin na tinatawag. Kuha? Okay, so, most of the time, yung mga enterprises, large organization, and large company, they are using what we call managed devices. Does that make sense? So the next characteristics, for example, since ang example natin dito ay Cisco router, it's being run by what we call Cisco IOS. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin lahat ng enterprise or lahat ng managed devices runs by Cisco IOS. For example, si Juniper, they are being run by Junos, 'di ba? Yung mga Juniper operating system nila. So sila HP, sila for example, ano pa ba? Huawei, may kanya-kanya silang operating system. So yun yung isa sa pinakamalaking pagkakaiba ng tinatawag nating managed versus unmanaged. Ito kasi most of the time naka-embed na dun sa chips, dun sa ROM nila, dun sa motherboard ng device na yun, ng unmanaged device na yun, yung operating system. Pero hindi talaga siya small operating system, tabihin na natin. Okay? Pero ito kasi talagang tawag doon, enterprise grade na operating system. Like, pwede mong i-update, pwede mong i-upgrade, pwede mong palitan ng operating system, pwede mong i-reformat like a PC. Actually, this can be considered a desktop kasi pwede mong palitan ng LAN card. And I mean, may mga modular siya or modules natin na tinatawag. For example, sa Cisco, ganun din yung concept sa ibang model or ibang brand or vendor. Okay, pwede mong palitan ng gigabit internet card or gigabit interface card, ganyan. Pwede kang magpalit ng Fiber module, pwede kang magpalit ng power module, and so on and so forth. So, modular siya kung tawagin. And then yung OS niya, pwede mong reformat and so on. So, para kang nagpo-format ng normal na desktop. So, isa yan sa malaking pagkakaiba or differentiation ng tinatawag natin na managed devices. So, ang example natin dito, Cisco IOS lang dahil yung device na example ko is Cisco router. Pero this applies to any brand ng router na managed router. For example nga, Juniper o kaya naman Huawei. So, they have their own operating system. Kuha? Good. Now, another difference, tawag dito characteristics is we can configure or we configure and manage the managed devices via what we call CLI or command line interface. Ibig sabihin, hindi kagaya ng mga unmanaged devices or yung mga pang-residential nga or SOHO na minamanage natin via graphical user interface or GUI. Kadalasan, yung mga managed devices natin or yung mga enterprise devices natin are being configured and managed by what we call CLI or command line interface. Meaning, yung mga professional or yung mga tawag dito engineer needs to have an expertise or technical knowledge in handling and configuring or managing those devices. Okay, so ibig sabihin, hindi siya basta katulad nito, pwede mong ipabago sa kapatid mo yung password Like, hey brother, login ka nga dun sa open mo yung browser mo, type mo 192.168.1.1, password ganyan, baguhin mo yung ganito, i-reset mo yung ganyan, okay yun. Pero dito, hindi mo kayang basta-basta gawin yun. Dahil most of the time, they are being configured and managed via what we call CLI or command line interface. So, pwedeng meron kaunting pagkakaiba in terms of the command and configuration, depende na sa vendor like Huawei, Juniper or Cisco, pero yung concept are almost the same. Okay, lalo na yung mga tinatawag nating mga industry or open standard protocols. Okay, so one of the key differences kapag tinawag nating managed devices or managed infrastructure, basically yung technology is being configured via CLI. Kuha? Goods. Okay? Next. So, most of the time, okay, yung mga managed infrastructure natin or mga managed devices natin are packed with features na hindi mo makikita doon sa unmanaged devices. So, hindi katulad nito, di ba? So, itong mga to, limited lang ang features natin dyan. Di ba? Sa mga residential or doon sa mga tinatawag nga nating unmanaged devices. Pero pagdating sa managed devices, most of the time, full features yan. Pwede kang mag-configure ng NAT, pwede kang mag-configure ng QoS, pwede kang mag-configure ng VLAN, pwede kang mag-configure ng ACL, and so on and so forth. So again, pwedeng mayroong pagkakaiba sa configuration, depende na sa vendor. Like for example, Cisco, pero yung concept is almost the same. Nakukuha mo naman to, di ba? Nakukuha mo yung punto ko. So yun yung isa sa pinaka-key differences, yun yung isa sa pinaka-key characteristics kapag tinatawag natin or tinawag natin na managed devices. And take note yung mga managed devices, ito yung ginagamit doon sa tinatawag nating managed infrastructure or managed IT infrastructure. So, pwedeng they have managed Cisco routers, Cisco switches, Cisco access points or Meraki, o kaya naman may halong Juniper, may halo ring Huawei, and so on. So, lahat yon kapag malaki yung enterprise, ganun yung ginagamit nila. Pero, meron pa rin naman, for example, may branch sila na maliit, meron silang gamit niyan. So, depende na sa setup. Pero, what I'm sharing you here is yung key differences at saka yung high-level overview, kumbaga, kung ano yung pinagkaiba nila. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're learning on this, right? So, another characteristics, of course, kapag pinag-usapan natin, okay, nawala na yung sinulat ko. Burahin ko muna yan. So, of course, kapag managed or enterprise devices na ginagamit sa managed IT infrastructure, yun nga lang, this cost a lot. This cost thousands or even hundreds or could be millions of dollars kung talagang malakihan yung setup. Like for example, yung company or yung enterprise may multiple data centers, may multiple gigapops na tinatawag, and then multiple branches all over the world. So, they cost a lot. So, hindi katulad sa unmanaged, minsan libre pa pinoprovide ng mga ISP. Diba? Pagdating sa managed devices na ginagamit sa managed IT infrastructure, they need to procure that, they need to buy that sa mga vendor. Kailangan nila makapag-partner sa mga tinatawag nating tawag doon, sa mga vendor or supplier nila na tinatawag, kung saan yun nga, it costs hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, a Cisco router costs thousands of dollars, depende na sa model, bago mo ma-acquire yan. So, hindi yan kayang i-afford ng mga pang-residential or ng mga small offices. And dahil nga, yung malalaking enterprises lang naman ang gumagamit nito, so they can afford that. Kasi yung setup kasi natin sa tinatawag nating IT infrastructure always depends kung ano yung kailangan ng enterprise or ng organization. For example, ikaw naman isa lang travel agency na mayroong 10 empleyado tapos email lang at social media yung ginagamit ng mga empleyado mo. Hindi mo naman kailangan yan. Hindi mo kailangan yan. Anin mo yan. Di ba? Anin mo yung mga features niyan kung yun lang naman yung needs at saka yun lang yung kumbaga tawag dito, yun lang yung operations ng company or ng organization nyo. Now, kung ikaw ay isang BPO, kung ikaw ay isang call center na mayroong multiple branches all over the world, this is what you need, di ba? So, ito yung kailangan mo. Hindi kayang isupport yung needs mo na yon ng mga unmanaged devices. Nakukuha? So, yung mga managed IT infrastructure, okay, manage. Ito yung ginagamit, okay? Ito yung ginagamit nila, yung mga managed devices. Yung mga residential at saka yung mga small office or home office, ang ginagamit nila karaniwan is what we call unmanaged devices. Does that make sense? So I hope by providing you the key differences at saka yung mga key characteristics ng tinatawag nating managed versus unmanaged devices, nagkaroon ka ng idea kung ano yung pinagkaiba nila and nagkaroon ka, ito pala yung kakaharapin ko in the near future kapag ka network engineer na ako o kapag ka cybersecurity engineer na ako, for example. Kasi sabi ko nga, ang example ko lang dito ay router. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na ganun. Pero kasi, for example, may mga IPS and IDS pa, may mga tinatawag pa tayong proxy server and so on. So, lahat ng mga tinatawag nating enterprise grade na devices, those falls under managed devices na ginagamit ng tinatawag nating managed IT infrastructure. Does that make sense? Okay? So, let's move on. Okay, so, ilan sa mga example before move on. Okay, so, ilan sa mga example, for example nga, ng managed devices are Cisco, Huawei, ano pa ba? Juniper, okay? HP, and so on and so forth. Big IP F5, okay? Big IP. Ang galing kong magsulat pero nagigets nyo naman yan dahil sinasabi ko naman. So, ilan lang. Now, itong mga to, meron din silang katapat or yung company nila, meron din silang dedicated devices para sa mga residential or mga small office and home offices. Okay? So, hindi naman lahat ng products nila are basically for managed or enterprises. May mga product line din sila for small offices or home offices. For example, si Cisco, may mga small offices router din sila na design para doon. Pero ang the best example when it comes to unmanaged devices is, for example, D-Link, TP-Link, yung mga nabibili nating router, Asus, and so on. Those falls under unmanaged devices. Basta yung characteristics na pinag-usapan natin kanina, pumapasok doon, they belong to that. Kuha? goods. Okay, so I hope by now, you now understand kung ano yung pinagkaiba ng unmanaged device at saka ng managed device na ginagamit sa unmanaged infrastructure at saka managed infrastructure. Okay, so tuloy natin. Okay, now, in an unmanaged IT infrastructure, usually, ganito lang yung setup. Okay, so kinuha ko lang to sa internet just to, kumbaga, drive home the point dito sa ating example. Ito lang yung karaniwang setup when it comes to tinatawag nating unmanaged IT infrastructure or yun nga, pwedeng residential or small office or home office. So makikita mo dito, meron tayong ISP which is basically internet service provider natin. So dito sa Pinas, pwedeng Globe, PLDT or ano pa isa, Converge na meron piniprovide sa atin na router. So usually wala na yung bridge okay? So usually router na kaagad diretso na dun sa box nila sa poste. 'Di ba? So yung router lang yung ipo-provide sa atin and then from there, okay, hindi na rin tayo nagke-create ng switch kasi ilan lang naman yung devices natin. So alam nyo ba, okay? Trivia lang to ha. Yung router natin sa bahay, sa mga residential na pinoprovide ng ating ISP is an all-in-one device. Kasi it can serve as a router. Pwede ring maging switch kasi may port doon. Pwede kang magtusok ng LAN cable. Tapos it also serves as a DHCP server kasi siya rin yung nagpo-provide ng IP addresses. It also serve as a wireless access point kasi doon din tayo kumukonect wirelessly. It also serve as a firewall. It also serve as what we called tawag dito, pwede rin siyang switch nga. So, it's an all-in-one device. Okay, so trivia lang yan. Anyway, so, sa mga bahay natin, usually, yun lang yung pinoprovide. And sabi ko nga, from there, as long as na-configure na, plug and play, makaka-connect na yung mga devices natin. So, itong design na ito is mostly for what we called SOHO. Kasi meron silang switch dahil they have multiple wired devices na kinoconnect. Tapos, meron din silang access point. Pero, the concept is the same. So, napaka-simpleng setup lang. Okay? Kuha. Okay, so ito yung normal setup natin when it comes to what we called unmanaged devices. Okay, now, when it comes naman to, in most cases, okay, dun sa unmanaged devices, kapag pinag-usapan natin yung support from the IT department, ang nangyayari is, they're just gonna call the IT department, hey, meron kaming issue sa ganito, hindi kami makakonect, resolve nyo naman, troubleshoot nyo naman. Right? Kapag kami issue sila sa software, hey, hindi namin ma-open yung ganitong application, paki-resolve nyo naman. And ang gagawin ni IT, okay, wait lang, puntahan namin yan, resolve. Okay, wait lang, puntahan namin yan, resolve. Hey, hindi kami makakonect sa internet. Okay, nabunot yung LAN cable, hindi pala nakita nung kasi matanda na yung accountant. Okay, magre-retire na next year. So, okay, resolve. So, hey, hindi namin ma-open yung POS. Okay, you get the point? So, ang nangyayari kapag yung IT department ang so-support sa tinatawag nating unmanaged IT infrastructure, they troubleshoot as it goes and wala nang ticketing, tatawag lang o kaya pupuntahan lang and then from there, i-resolve na natin yung issue and most of the time, once we do what we call reboot, nare-resolve na talaga yung issue. Okay, wala masyadong ticket, walang documentation and so on. So, in most cases, ganito ang setup kapag tinatawag nating unmanaged, okay? Ulitin natin. Hindi nakasya dun sa taas Okay? Unmanaged IT infrastructure. Okay? So, most of the time, ganyan yung setup. They troubleshoot as they go and once it's solved, bahala na lang uli kung magka-problema next time. Tawagan nyo na lang uli kami. Kasi ganyan yung ginagawa namin nung ako ay isang general IT support sa isang maliit na office sa Makati. So, pag may tumawag dun sa IT department namin, titigil muna namin yung ginagawa namin. Halimbawa, nanonood kami ng YouTube. So, i-resolve namin yun. Gagapang kami sa ilalim ng desk. Pag na-resolve yun, okay na po. Tawag na lang uli kayo pag may problema kayo. Pagka nagka-problema, tatawag lang. You get the point? So, if you're working in a small organizations or company right now as a general IT, you're probably understanding this. Kasi, ganyan talaga yung setup. Kasi hindi naman nga kailangan ng business, for example, ng company. Now, when it comes to what we call managed IT infrastructure, ganito naman yung karaniwang setup. Okay? So, here's an example diagram na ginagamit namin sa CCNA Masterclass. So, kung hindi ka pa naka-join, mag-join ka na. By the way, shameless plug, we're gonna have a free and live webinar this coming Saturday, August 31, 2024, alas 12 ng tanghali about CCNA. So if you have questions, if you're an aspiring CCNA or Kung wala kang gagawin, mag-join ka na. Puntahan mo yung techacademy.ph/ccna-webinar para makapag-register ka. And then after that, makaka-receive ka ng email para sa confirmation at saka yung meeting details. Ilalagay ko na rin yung link dun sa description. I-check mo na lang. Okay, so now, ito yung example, okay, sample or kumbaga high-level overview pa rin ng tinatawag nating managed infrastructure. So makikita mo dito, mga managed devices natin. So example niyan, Cisco routers, 2. Meron tayong multi-layer switch, meron tayong access switches kung saan nakatusok yung mga devices natin. And for example, this is a single branch. Sabihin na natin ito ay Laguna branch. Okay? Kasi multiple branches. Ba't ganun yung spelling ng Laguna ko? Okay, Laguna. Okay, now, let's say for example, we can set up another branch here. Sabihin natin ito ay Makati branch. Okay? So, nakikita mo, hindi katulad doon sa normal na pinakita ko kanina na tinatawag nating unmanaged IT infrastructure setup. Simple lang, meron ka lang internet, tapos meron ka lang router, and then boom, on the go na, ika nga. Itong example natin, meron tayong multiple branches, and for example nga, they are using Cisco devices, so meron tayong multiple Cisco devices na mga managed devices na ginagamit sa infrastructure. And from here, makikita mo rin, meron tayong ISP pero hindi internet yan. MPLS, so right now it's being replaced by SDN or SD1, SD1, okay? Pero hindi pa lahat. Pero makikita mo, meron tayong 2 ISP dahil gusto natin ng redundancy. 'Di ba? Tapos, hindi lang sila connected, basically, hindi yun internet, private lines yun. Tinatawag natin na wide area network. 'Di ba? So, para makakonect yung mga branch sa iba pang branches. Pagka papuntang internet, they have their own internet router kung saan, for example, yung ano bang magandang kulay? Kulay dilaw. Sabihin na natin, yung user dito sa Laguna branch ko connect sa internet, dyan siya dadaan. Pag ganoon sa internet way na yon. Kuha? Kinu-configure natin yon as a network engineer, kinu-configure natin yung mga routing protocols, yung mga ACLs and VLANs and so on and so forth. Tapos, kapag, for example, pa-connect naman sa other branches, so, for example, itong PC nito pa-connect sa other branches, so hindi siya lalabas doon sa internet na dinaanan niya kanina, doon siya papasok sa wide area network, papuntang ibang branches. So, for example, nandyan yung file server na yun. So, basically, that's how managed or enterprise network works in a high-level overview. Marami pang configurations, marami pang pagkakaiba, depende na sa company setup, pero this is basically how it looks like in a high-level overview. Nakukuha mo now, itong mga switches na to, kinu-configure natin yan. May mga VLAN, may mga STP for example, may mga subnets tayong ginagawa. Yung mga router, kinu-configure natin yung mga routing protocol, for example, EIGRP or OSPF. Tapos, yung mga firewall, kinu-configure din natin or ng mga security engineer natin. And then, as you can see here, di ba? Meron tayong DMZ, for example. Sasabihin natin ito ay internet firewall or ito yung DMZ area natin, yung server farm natin, di ba? So meaning itong public server, for example, accessible yan sa internet, ina-access ng mga tao. Nandiyan yung public website natin, diyan naka-host. Pero hindi sila nakakapasok sa loob natin sa wide area network dahil nga meron tayong sinet up na rules na pag galing sa labas hanggang doon lang sila sa DMZ. Hanggang doon lang sila sa public server. Kapag papasok na sa wide area network natin or private area network natin, mabablock na sila. So, this is how managed IT infrastructure works. Now, sabi ko nga high-level overview lang to. May mga devices, may mga may configurations, may mga iba pang setup na hindi ako sinama dito para lang mapasimple at saka para lang madali mong maintindihan. Pero in most cases, ganito siya gumagana. Ganito siya setup. Now, for example, okay, this is only for the Philippines. 'Di ba? Yung setup na 'yan. Okay, sabihin natin may branch ka pa doon, 10 branch pa. Okay, pasok pa rin siya sa Philippines. Sabihin natin meron pang branch sa ibang bansa. So, ibig sabihin itong Philippines branch mo, i-connect mo rin 'yan, i-configure mo rin 'yan doon sa iba pang branches all over the world. So, yung mga router, yung mga routes, yung mga routing table, mga routing protocols, i-configure pa rin natin 'yun, mga firewall rules and so on and so forth. I-configure pa rin natin yun dun sa mga devices na yun. So, yun yung malaking pagkakaiba, yun yung kaibahan, yun yung tinatawag natin na managed IT infrastructure. And as I remember, nung nagtatrabaho ako sa Sykes, di ba, bilang call center, yung support kasi namin, Sony Vaio na Canada and US customers. So pagka may problema yung mga Canadian and US customers doon sa kanilang Sony Vaio na laptop, tatawag sila doon sa 1-800 na number. Di ba, ganun yung mga support sa US. Papasok sa amin yun. And ang pinagtaka ko noon, kaya ako nahook sa network bakit tumatawag yung mga customers from the US and Canada tapos mararoute yung call sa Pilipinas? And then nakikita namin yung queue doon tapos papasok na doon sa, sabi ko, uy, galing nun ah. That's why I was hooked on the network. And then nung nag-aral ako ng CCNA, unti-unti ko siyang natutunan. Although nung nag-training ako at saka nag-self-study ako, hindi ko pa talaga siyang nag-grasp. Pero nung nag-service desk na ako, nakita ko na siya kung paano siya gumagana in the back end. Kasi doon, dinodocument namin lahat. Meron kaming bird's eye view kung saan nakikita namin yung buong infrastructure ni Teletech. Tapos, yung mga incidents, araw-araw na issue, araw-araw na outage, na-experience namin kung paano na-resolve, kung paano, ay, ganun pala pag nag-fluff yung BGP, ganun pala pag nag-duplicate yung IP, ganito pala, and so on and so forth. Nakukuha mo? So, yun yung malaking pagkakaiba, yun yung malaking difference ng tinatawag nating managed and unmanaged infrastructure. And again, this setup costs hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars to set up dahil nga malalaking enterprise lang ang gumagamit and kayang i-afford yung ganito. Dahil sila lang yung may kailangan. Ganyan yung nature ng kanilang business. That's why ganyan yung nature ng kanilang enterprise or kanilang infrastructure. Does that make sense? So, I hope by now, you now understand kung paano yung infrastructure setup when it comes to manage IT infrastructure. Now, yung mga enterprises, okay, most of the time, they are using what we call framework. So, hindi katulad kanina, dun sa example ko sa unmanaged network, kapag ka nagka-problema yung empleyado or isang department, tatawag lang sa IT and on the spot, aayusin na nung IT yung issue. Walang documentation, restart lang kung kailangan, and so on and so forth. Basta, they troubleshoot as they go. And kapag na-resolve yung issue, boom, okay na. Now, sa enterprise, sa mga managed IT infrastructure, hindi pwedeng ganun. Okay? Documentation is a must. And most of the time, sabi ko nga, they uses what we call framework. And most of the time, okay, right now, yung mga enterprises, they are using what we call ITIL or Information Technology Infrastructure Library. So may mga processes, may mga rules. Actually, yung ITIL pumapasok sa tinatawag nating ITSM. Okay? Or Information Technology Service Management. Okay? So, this is another discipline when it comes to IT. Pero ang gusto ko lang i-point dito is yung mga enterprises, yung mga managed IT infrastructure, they are using a framework. So, most of the time, hindi naman lahat, okay? Yung iba may sarili nilang framework. Pero most of the time, they are using what we call ITIL or ITSM for short. Or ITSM na lang din. Pero you get the point. So they are using that kind of framework. Now, ano yung kahalagahan nito when it comes to the infrastructure? Well, kapag nagkaroon ng problema, okay, hindi katulad dun sa unmanaged infrastructure na pinag-usapan natin kanina, ang central point of contact is what we call laging help desk. So for example, nagkaroon ng problema sa operations. Hey, meron kaming 200 agents na hindi nakaka-call. So yung operations, hindi nila basta-basta aayusin yon, tatawag sa IT, or yung IT hindi nila basta-basta i-troubleshoot or aayusin yon. Ang mangyayari, tatawag sila sa help desk or service desk, if you may, magke-create ng ticket ngayon si help desk, for example, incident 00123, and ito-document yung issue. Now, ang gagawin nila kapag, for example, 200 agents yung hindi nakaka-login or nakaka-call. Ilalag nila yon, i-document sa ticketing system nila. Most of the time, ServiceNow. Okay, so if you're familiar, good job. Magandang experience yan. So, i-document nila yon, and then from there, gagawan na nila ng paraan para hanapin yung resources or team na makakatulong to resolve the issue. So, for example, malaking issue yan. Nag-gauge nila, P1. Based dun sa detail. So, ang mangyayari, tatawag sila sa network team, tatawag sila sa security team, tatawag sila sa incident response team, tatawag sila sa kung ano man nilang pwedeng tawagan sa manager para i-resolve yung issue. Mag-open sila ng tinatawag nating troubleshooting bridge or troubleshooting call, and doon nila ipapa-join yung mga resources na to. For example, network, servers, security, and so on and so forth na other team, incident response team, for example, para i-resolve yung issue. So, ganun yung pagkakaiba. Hindi katulad sa unmanaged device, hey, puntahan mo kami dito, hindi kami makalagin. Ang gawin ng IT, restart lang, boom. Now, sa enterprise managed infrastructure, hindi mo pwedeng basta-basta gawin yun. Hindi ka basta-basta pwedeng mag-restart, hindi ka basta-basta pwedeng bago ng configuration dahil may mga pagkakataon na, yun nga, kailangan approval, kailangan ng documentation ng mga yon. Does that make sense? So, ito yung malaking pagkakaiba in terms of what we call troubleshooting when it comes to managed versus unmanaged IT infrastructure. Okay? So, kagaya ng example natin kanina dito, di ba? So, nandyan yung mga router natin. Let's say, for example, bumigay yung isa dyan, hindi mo basta-basta pwedeng i-troubleshoot yan. Okay, tatawag mo muna sa help desk, gagawa ng ticket, and again, ito troubleshoot yung issue para ma-resolve. Okay? Now, may mga pagkakataon din, for example, na may babaguhin tayo sa infrastructure. Di ba? So, for example, we call them changes. Di ba? Changes. So, hindi katulad sa unmanaged infrastructure na pwede nating i-reboot, pwede nating baguhin yung gusto natin, pwede nating mag-format ng PC, pwede nating i-update yung software. Most of the time, kapag managed infrastructure or enterprise, again, we call the help desk or we create a ticket, sabihin na nating RFC, dito papasok yung tinatawag nating request for change, RFC 123, kung saan, let's say for example, i-upgrade mo yung iOS ng isa mong router. Okay? So, ngayon, i-document mo yung mga gagawin doon, like yung mga script, tapos i-approve mo yun sa manager mo, dadaan pa yun sa tinatawag nating Change Approvals Board or CAB meeting, and then, i-defend pa yun ng team mo na kailangan talagang gawin yun, dahil kailangan yun para maging optimize yung network. Now, sila change management and so on, they're composed of other professionals na gigisahin ka muna bago ma-approve. Like, ano yung backout plan nyo? Let's say, for example, hindi gumana yung plano nyo. Paano gagawin? Paano i-roll back sa operations? Or sa dati na gumagana? May impact ba yan sa operations? Ano yung mga possible impact? May kailangan bang i-coordinate sa ibang team and so on and so forth? So, kumbaga nagkakaroon pa ng meeting para ma-approve yan and may timeline yan, di ba? So, hindi mo pwedeng gawin ura-urada ngayon lang. Okay? So, it may take a couple of weeks. Kung talagang matindi yung changes na gagawin, it may take a month or two. Depende na sa setup ng company. Pero that's how it works. Hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta magbago or mag-change ng configuration or setup sa company dahil lahat yun dadaan sa masinsinang approval and documentation. So, isa yun sa mga key differences when it comes to managed or enterprise infrastructure. Walang ganun sa unmanaged kasi nire-reboot lang namin dati yung mga desktop nila, pinoformat lang namin pag ayaw nang gumana. Hindi mo pwedeng gawin yun sa enterprise, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yun kapag ka-managed infrastructure. Dahil nga lahat documented, lahat kailangan ng approval. Does that make sense? So ganun din, kapag for example may mga request, di ba? So yun nga, hey Billy, kapag doon sa unmanaged, sa previous general IT support ako, hey Billy, hindi ako makakonect sa internet. Ganyan. Hindi nabago yata yung password ng Wi-Fi ng laptop ko and so on and so forth. So, pagka doon sa part na yon, ito troubleshoot lang namin, okay na. Bigyan mo akong pamerienda. Okay. Now, sa managed infrastructure, sa enterprise grade level, hindi yon. Again, they're gonna call the help desk or they're gonna create their own ticket. Tapos, i-assign nila sa network team. Kung hindi nila na-assign sa network team, usually pupunta pa rin sa help desk or service desk and then si service desk, sila yung mag-a-assign dun sa network team. Kung related sa network, yung request mo. Kung sa server naman, edi i-assign ni help desk sa server team kung related sa server. Kung related sa security, edi i-assign ni help desk sa security yung request mo. Kasi, for example, empleyado ako ng company, pwede rin kasi ako mag-login, for example, ServiceNow, kikreatean ko ng request, i-assign ko. Ngayon, kung hindi ko alam kung kanino i-assign, by default, in most cases, napupunta sila sa help desk and si help desk na yung bahala mag-assign sa proper team. So, isa pa rin yun sa differences when it comes to request. And, kailangan ma-fulfill yun. For example, nag-request yung tinatawag naming Technical Account Manager or TAM, may bago tayong LOB or line of business. Kailangan nyo mag-create ng VLAN for AT&T agents sa Santa Rosa branch. 200 agents. Okay, request yan. Now, pag hindi na fulfill yan on the given date na magla-live na yung line of business na yun, like for example, nandun na yung mga agent, hindi pa pala na-configure yung VLANs. Boom! Outage yun. So, dapat yung mga yan, may coordination yan. So, si helpdesk, ipapollow up yung network team. Hey, network team, 3 araw na yung ticket sa inyo. Bakit hindi gumagalaw? Kailan nyo i-implement yan? Make sure na by this date, dapat nagawa nyo na yan. Tapos, i-coordinate din sa network team, sa security, and so on. So, sabi ko nga, may documentation, may proper accountability and responsibility, and so on. So, that's how manage or enterprise IT infrastructure works, kumbaga, in a high level. Or kasi marami pang ibang details eh. Hindi ko na lang isinama dito, pero ang gusto ko kasing makuha mo dito is yung talagang high level overview or bigger picture, ika nga, para magkaroon ka ng idea. And I hope by showing you these videos, these doodles, okay, nagkakaroon ka talaga ng idea and natututunan mo ano yung mga pwede mong kaharapin, ano yung mga pwede mong trabaho na gagawin when it comes or kapag ka nakalipat ka na sa tinatawag nating manage or enterprise IT infrastructure. Okay, so by the way, you're probably asking, Sir Billy, okay, thank you, naintindihan ko na. Let's pala dito sa lugar namin. So, bigyan mo ako ng 6 months, magre-resign ako. Anyway, so, you're probably asking, Sir Billy, bakit mo ina-advise or bakit mo pinapayo na lumipat kami sa tinatawag natin na large enterprises or bakit mo gugustuhin na lumipat sa tinatawag nating managed IT infrastructure bilang isang IT? Okay, this is my personal advice. Number 1, okay, large enterprises offer higher salary offer. Okay, nagdoble yung offer natin. Pero basically, in most cases, mas malalaki ang offer sa mga large enterprises o yung tinatawag nga natin na managed IT infrastructure. Bakit? Dahil they have the budget, they have the capability, and they have, yun nga, the resources para magbigay ng offer sa mga talented IT professionals dun sa salary asking nila. Now, this may depend on the position, experience, and some other factors. Pero, you get the point. Diba? Hindi kayang i-offer ng isang travel agency, okay, na for example, na maliit lang, 10 lang yung empleyado, yung offer ng isang company na multiple branches nationwide and so on. So, pag i-compare mo yung offer nila sa isang enterprise at saka enterprise. Although mali-mali yung spelling ng sulat ko, nagigets nyo naman kasi I say it as I write it, di ba? So, yung offer nila magkaiba. You probably offer here 15,000 pesos, pero yung role mo na yon in an enterprise probably being offered as 40,000. Pwedeng ganun. May mga estudyante ako na ganun. Same role, same job description, pero dahil yung nature ng company is magkaiba, yung income, yung resources, yung capability ng company is magkaiba, mas malaki yung offer. So, saan ka pa? Dito ka na. Kuha? Right. Next. So, they offer more benefits. Of course, dahil nga marami silang resources, marami silang, marami silang, malaki yung income, maraming opportunity, so they offer more benefits. So, for example, in a normal setup sa malalaking enterprises, they provide 2 HMO. Yung maliliit na company, usually wala nga yan eh. I remember one time, meron akong estudyante sa CCNA Masterclass. Ang sahod lang niya sa province, 12,000 pesos per month. All in na yun. Walang benefits, walang HMO, walang and so on and so forth. Sabi ko, grabe, 3 taong ka na dyan, tinatsaga mo. Tapusin mo yung CCNA mo, mag-resign ka na. Lipat ka. Now, nagtatrabaho na siya dito sa Manila. Ang sahod niya na 45,000. Tapos may mga HMO pa and so on. After a year or 2 yata nung makapasa ng CCNA. Makapasa siya ng CCNA. You getting this? So, mas maraming opportunity, mas maraming high salary offer, mas maraming benefits sa malalaking enterprises dahil they have the resources, they have the capability. Bukod doon, most of the time, they offer free training and certifications. Diba? So, nung nakaraan, meron kaming naging kliyente like the Punong Bayan Aurelio Accounting Services sa Makati. They enrolled some of their IT sa Security Plus course natin dito sa Tech Academy. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, yung malalaking company, yung iba pa, katulad namin dati, meron kaming subscription sa CBT Nuggets at saka sa INE na provided ng company. Diba? So, mga ganun. Tapos, kapag nakapasa ka sa isang certification, pwede mong i-refund. So, free training in company and certification na makakatulong para makapag-upskill ka and mag-grow yung IT career mo. Itong mga to, hindi ko nakuha yan nung general IT support ako. doon sa isang maliit na office sa Makati. Kaya buti na lang nag-resign ako. Dahil hindi ko mararating yung narating ko sa aking IT career kung hindi ako nag-resign doon sa maliit na company. So, you have to play bigger. You have to realize your worth and you have to dream big and take action. Kasi deserve mong maging successful. Deserve mo yung higher salary, yung more benefits, at saka yung mga training and certification dahil you are worth it. Okay? Tandaan mo yan. Deserve mong maging successful. Anyway, the last one is, of course, they are the one using and adapting to the new technologies. Ibig sabihin, mas exciting yung career mo dahil matututunan mo yung mga bagong technology, yung mga malulupit na devices, mga malulupit na technology in large enterprises na hindi kayang i-offer sa'yo ng mga maliliit na company or maliliit na enterprises. Okay, so for example, again, nung IT support ako sa Makati, ang gamit nga namin mga unmanaged devices. So mga D-Link and TP-Link and connect lang ng connect, ganyan pagka may bago. Right now, nakita ko hindi naman lumalaki yung company kasi parang stable na sila na gano'n dahil nga gano'n yung nature ng business nila. Sabi ko, wala akong matututunan bago dito. Walang career growth. Wala namang setup na bago. Hindi nag-i-invest ang company sa infrastructure and so on. So walang mangyayari. That's why nag-resign ako. Now, fast forward, nung nakapasok ako bilang isang network engineer, dun ko na experience sumawak ng big IP F5 na load balancer. Dun ko na makapag-configure ng Cisco router and switches, ng firewall, ASA, and then yung mga iba pang exciting, dun ko rin na-experience for example, mag-setup ng basic cloud management. You get the point? So, yung malalaking enterprises, yung malalaking company, they are the one using and adapting sa mga bagong technology sa market. So, right now, for example, most of the enterprises are transitioning into cloud. Tapos sila rin yung may mga SD-WAN right now, may mga software-defined networking, may mga AI sa technology nila, and so on and so forth. Hindi yun gagamitin or usually i-adapt ng mga maliliit na enterprise dahil hindi nila kailangan yun. Kuha mo, so when you work with large enterprises, pwede mong makuha tong mga to, and pag lumipat ka sa iba pang large enterprises, pataas ng pataas yung value mo as an IT professional. Or di kaya naman, yung skills mo, padami ng padami. Yung fulfillment mo sa sarili mo, mas at least nadadagdagan dahil nag-i-enjoy ka sa trabaho mo. Kuha mo, I hope by sharing you these differences and sharing you this personal experience, kahit papano nabigyan kita ng, again, high-level overview or bigger picture about the difference ng tinatawag nating unmanaged and managed IT infrastructure. Okay? So again, you are worth it. Okay? You have to dream big and you have to play bigger dahil deserve mong maging successful. Follow us for more IT career tips and God bless.